Hello again. If you watched my previous video on 50B domestic violence protective orders, then you might be left on the cliffhanger of what a 50C civil no contact order might be. That's what this video is going to be about. A 50C civil no contact order is what we might call a restraining order, which is available to those who are not in a domestic relationship with the opposing party. Now, this includes similar conduct that is covered by a 50B domestic violence protective order. But, as I mentioned, there's no domestic relationship. It could be your neighbor, it could be somebody stalking you, it could be somebody who you just met down the street. Now, the statutory grounds for what enables you to obtain a 50C no contact order include physical or mental abuse, non-consensual sexual conduct. Another ground for a 50C no contact order is non-consensual sexual contact. And if you've been watching the news at all recently, you can know that Harvey Weinstein is a prime example of what that means. Another ground for a 50C civil no contact order is stalking. And I don't mean like, oh my God, they're stalking me, like they won't stop talking to me kind of stalking. There is an actual statutory ground for what stalking means. Stalking means placing somebody or their family in fear for their safety by some form of direct threat or by continued and constant harassment which causes emotional distress. The textbook example of this would be somebody who continually calls you and calls you and calls you and texts you and you tell them stop. But they do not stop and they continue to harass and call and text you. Those are grounds which may entitle you to a 50C civil no contact order. The process of obtaining a 50C civil no contact order is remarkably similar to that of obtaining a 50B no contact order. You simply go down to the courthouse and fill out one of these, which is a complaint for a civil no contact order. If the judge feels that there is an emergency present, then they may issue an emergency ex parte order, which lasts up to 10 days until your court date. And once again, just as in a 50B, this is at its heart a civil lawsuit. And so you have to be prepared to prove to the judge with evidence that you are the victim of unlawful conduct such as physical or mental abuse, stalking, or non-consensual sexual contact. Now, if you are able to prove to a judge that you are the victim of unlawful conduct and you are entitled to an order of protection, a judge may issue a 1-year order protecting you from the defendant. Now, similar to a 50B, a defendant needs to know that contact includes text message, email, phone calls, Facebook messaging, anything of that kind. You also cannot contact that person through a third party. The only exception would be your attorney in the process of litigating and defending your case. One big difference between a 50B domestic violence protective order and a 50C civil no contact order is that unlike a 50B order, where it's possible that a violator of the order could face criminal charges, a 50C order doesn't offer quite that amount of protection. If you do violate a 50C order, however, you may be subject to a motion to show cause, in which you would have to show up in court and try to prove that you didn't violate the order. Otherwise, you would be subject to either civil or criminal contempt, which could still land you in jail, and you would potentially have to pay for the plaintiff's attorney's fees. And there you have it. That's the last of the kind of restraining orders in North Carolina as you might commonly know them. So, if you have been the victim of unlawful conduct, but you are not in a domestic relationship with somebody, there are still protections available to you. And you can go down to the courthouse and take out a 50C complaint against somebody who is either physically or mentally abusing you, contacting you in a non-consensual sexual way, or is stalking you under the meaning of the North Carolina general statutes. I hope this has been informative and helpful. If you are either the victim of this kind of conduct or you are wrongfully accused of this kind of conduct, we at the Castle Law Firm handle both kinds of cases and are available to do a consultation on your case. Thank you. If you have a question about a family law or criminal law related matter, please either comment below the video or send us an email at castlelawfirmqa@gmail.com. That's castlelawfirmqa@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.